Hi everyone, I'm Lisa and welcome to my YouTube channel. I've obviously just started, so really appreciate it if you do like it, if you could like and subscribe so I get more than 0 followers. So I'm going to be reviewing some new makeup that I've bought in the last couple of weeks. This Byredo eyeshadow palette, the Bibliophilia, the Victoria Beckham foundation drops, which is they're everywhere at the moment and they're really good, but I don't think this is my shade, but you can find out about that as we go through the video. And the other key product that I'm reviewing is this Tom Ford Alpine Blush, part of the Solinege collection. Love it, it's great. And some other products along the way, but those are the main ones. Oh, I've also got the Victoria Beckham concealer in the new shade 1.5, which I've used on my eyes and I'll show you in the video, but those are the key ones. Hope you enjoy. Okay, to save time, I've already put contour on as an underlayer. I've used some primer because I've got really oily skin. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? But I always have done as well. I'm now 42, I've still got super oily skin. So I've used the Victoria Beckham primer on my cheekbones. So I've got this in the shade Rose, which I wouldn't necessarily buy this shade again. It's kind of like a pink light, which is a cool idea because I mean everyone looks good in pink light, but I don't know, it's not my colour really. So I'm probably going to get I think she does a pearl type shade, so I'll probably get that next time. And then I also use the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. I have shade 4 medium. I think we all know about this and everyone uses it. Again, I just put it down my cheekbones because I don't want like metallic shine all over my face. And then finally, the last primer I use, can you tell how high maintenance I am yet? The matte NARS primer. This is really good. I really like this. And I use that just here in my T-zone before I do my base. So I've also got eyebrows on already, so we don't have to sit through that as well as this. And then contour. Okay, first product that I'm going to be talking about and trying now is the Victoria Beckham foundation drops. I've got the shade 5 Light, which I spent quite a lot of time looking on TikTok for similar shades, and I thought this was going to be good for me, but I don't really like it that much, but you'll see yourself in a minute. So she's done this in collaboration with Augustina Spada, so it works on your skin in a great way as well as being a foundation, which means that's why it's more expensive, which is, I think it's £104. So you have to shake it up 2 hours later. You've shaken the product up. So let me show you the shade. So the shade is this. There you go. So it looks quite tan on camera, but in real life it looks more pink. So I mean, as comparison, these are my sort of 2 favourite shades. This is the Clé de Peau foundation. This is BF40. And let me show you. So this is, yeah, it's much more beige. There, so that's much more yellow. So that's kind of my favourite shade. And this is a Victoria Beckham one. So I'll show you what it looks like on my skin. The coverage it's a really nice foundation, by the way. I'm not saying that I just don't know if I love the shade. So I'm just going to put it on with this Mario brush, the F4 brush, the one that everyone is in love with and it keeps selling out. So I'm just going to do, just from this one drop, it goes quite far actually, and I think it's quite sort of a medium-ish coverage. I don't think it's that light, but I don't know, I guess it depends on what your baseline is for foundation really. So it goes into the skin really nicely, melts in See, that doesn't look on camera like it's very ready, but in real life, in a minute, I think it just oxidizes a bit, but we'll have a look. Maybe that was just bad fortune yesterday with something I put underneath it, and today it will be the world's best shade for me. That'd be nice. Okay. So this is one layer, which you can see it's really, I think it's quite glowy, in a nice way, like in a really lovely way. It's very hydrating. I use Augustinus's moisturiser at night as well, and all his products are beautiful, so this isn't an exception. But yeah, that's the first layer. So let me come in closer so you can see. So the colour is okay. I mean, you can't really tell it, you can't see it by any means on against, like there's no contrast against my neck or anything. But we'll see. I think later on it gets a bit, I don't know, I'm not too sure on the colour for me. So that's one layer. Okay, and then the second layer, which, you know, maybe I might actually stop doing after this video, but we'll just do it to see how it starts to become a bit more coverage. Sorry, that was my stomach. Not sure I've ever seen that happen in a YouTube video before, but it's happened on mine. So there you go, new channel first. So this is the second layer, which is nice, and it does build up the coverage, which is nice. Okay, that's that. So what I'm going to do now off camera is I'm going to go and put some more contour on, and then I'm going to come back and show you the Tom Ford blush, which is so cool. The other thing I'm going to do is just use, I've got a new shade of the Victoria Beckham concealer. This is shade 1.5 Cool, and I'm just going to put that there in my, sorry, I've got a mirror here which makes it easier for me. I'm just going to put that there when it starts working. Okay, just a tiny bit there, but I have to be careful with the lines there, and then I just want to lift this area. Lovely. And then I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury brush that looks like this double-ended one. I'm just going to push this up a bit and then let that just dry down for a little bit before I blend it back in with the foundation brush that I was using before. So this is just going to lift some of my face a little bit. But yeah, I bought the Cool shade because it's pinky, and I know I've just been moaning about the pinkiness of the foundation shade, but I do want that around my eyes just to counteract any blue or green that may be there. Let's do this. Okay, cool. Seems good. It's very light reflective. It's very easy to wear around your eyes. So I just need to pat that in as well to make sure it doesn't go into any lines that are there. We don't want that. Okay, bronzer. So I'm going to use, looks disgusting, but this is how these products look. The Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate in shade intensity 1, which I love this. I've had this for a while. I've had a couple of these. But I think next time I'm going to get intensity 2, because it has kind of like a nice pinky highlighter, whereas this has just a sheer one, which is nice, but I would like to try that one. So I'm going to give that a go, and I'm just going to buff that in to points on my face that would naturally get brown if I was in the sun. So that's this. So I am filming this in daylight, so sorry about the shift in light, but at least it gives you a true reflection of how these colours look. Okay. This is just there. Okay. And then the new blusher, which is just so cool. So this is the Tom Ford Solange Creme Blush. Alpine blush it's called. So it's this colour, which you can see the Tom Ford in there. So I mean, I would not, if I looked at that colour, I wouldn't buy that. It looks maroony, which I just wouldn't like on me. But it comes out just like when you're skiing and you do actually get that real, I've been out and skiing and I'm freezing cold, but I'm like really healthy because I've not started drinking yet and I've been skiing all morning. And it gives you that glow. So, I mean, again, this is not a cheap product. I think it's 70 quid, but it's gorgeous. So I love this. I'll be wearing this all through the winter. It's heaven. Okay, so I'm just putting that on the widest part of my face so that I get some volume, and just like that on my nose. But there. I don't want loads of it on. I'm not a blusher. I'm not a blusher person, so this is as far as I'm gonna go. And then I'm just gonna take my foundation brush again and just go over the edges. It's just quick and it works. Always do that if you can. Okay. So I've just done a bit of eye contour, which I can show you in another video if you want to see. But first thing I'm going to do is just quickly use this Chanel eye pencil. It's in the shade Ombre. Love my French. So I'm just drawing a line, and it just do it. Doesn't have to be. It's definitely not perfect. It's supposed to be rock and roll is my idea here. You're just looking for some depth at your lash line, just to get that lovely like browny, reddy colour. It's such a nice pencil, this one. It's a kohl, so you can really shift it around. So it just starts to give you some definition. By the way, this is always going to become some kind of a smoky eye. There's really nothing else I do, so that's what you can expect from this. So I'm just going to do the other eye. So next, the Byredo palette, Bibliophilia it's called, and it's essentially, I think Lucia Pica was involved in this for Byredo. It's essentially just the most gorgeous wardrobe of nude tones, red warm tones, and a lot of people have said it's ideal because you've kind of got a cool section and then you've got a warm section, which is true. But I mean, these shades down here are just gorgeous. I mean, they're quite different than anything else. But so I've been using this for about 3 weeks. And I'm just going to show you the colours that I use. Sorry, I just had to take an interlude there to tell my husband what to get at M&S food. So I've just been using this for the last couple of weeks, and I now tend to use quite a lot of the colours actually, which is really like something to consider when you buy something like this, because you either end up just using one thing in it, which then you're like, hang on, I've paid all this money for these shades and I don't use them. But so interestingly, I seem to be actually using quite a lot of them because they're all so wearable and so nuanced. So I'm going to start with, I want something here to kind of shape my eye back to how it was. So I'm going to use, there's these 2 shades here. So these shades don't have names. Oh, they do have names. Okay, right. Okay, so I'm gonna use author's note and epilogue first of all. Really just so they're more or less the same colour, but one of them seems to have a slightly more pinkish reddish tone, this one, and then there's something a bit more in the brown section. So I'm going to start with that, and I'm going to use the Victoria Beckham brush number 21, which is this dual-ended brush, which I've got two of because I love it so much. So good because it's not a massive brush. Usually like eye brushes are so huge, but this is actually quite small. So if you've got like hooded lids like I've got, you can really kind of get in there and start to carve out your lash. And then the other end is this domed shaped brush. These are all synthetic as well, which is fantastic, which I love just to go along here. And I use both ends all the time. So, okay, I'm just going to dip in to these, take it off on the back of my hand, and then it's quite hard to do this, so I'm going to have to look in the other mirror as well. So first of all, I just want to create a shape and continuation colouring. I know it sounds weird, but of my like natural blue darkness here that comes through, because what I'm trying to do is make it look like my eye is just naturally like that, which it isn't. So I'm going to put this colour here as well, right on my brow bone. And then I'm just going to kind of fan that. I'm really only touching really loosely. So, looks like that first of all. Just do the other side. Same thing. Kind of find the natural shade of your eye and then go along as if where you wanted it to be, which is here for me. So it's quite high up because I've got, as I said, like hooded eyes now. Don't know if I've always had them, but I've got them now. So that's just the beginning of that. Let's just make sure that's blended. Obviously the thing is always try and blend everything in. Okay, so those shades are nice. So you can't really see that that's a particular shade like difference really, but it's just so that it starts to bring a little bit of warmth. So then next I want to, so I'm going to use the other brush in a minute, but I want to go along my lash line, and I want to use this colour, which is called Epitome or Epitome. I don't know if these are all French. No, Epitome, for God's sake. But first of all, before that, I need to put some eyeliner on, which is a Victoria Beckham one, which I haven't got here, so choose. So Victoria Beckham, as you can tell, I love Victoria Beckham. This is the terracotta eyeliner. It's quite warm. It's quite a warm brown. Looks cooler on camera, but I just quite like it. Just smudged along my lower lash line at the moment. I mean, I might not be able to do that much longer when I get paler through winter, but it's nice to have something that's a bit more warm as an eyeliner underneath your eyes, just when you're in the day, I think, so that it's not so dark. Okay, and then back to this shade, this kind of mid browny colour, and I'm just going to take that onto my hand, and then I'm really trying to put that along my lash line. I also really like it here, and I want it quite low, which at the end I'll just sort the shape out completely, but I want it to look like it's part of my eye definition. Just quite nice. See, it's a nice shade, isn't it? it's kind of sculpting, but it's still warm. So that's my under eye. Then next I'm going to do, there's a colour in here that's a deep brown, this deepest brown colour, which I think is called Bookshop. So with that, I'm just going to use the same brush. I'm just going to put that along my eye, just over the top of where I put that eyeliner earlier. It's kind of hard to do this in the camera. It's going to make those beautiful faces that everybody makes. In the camera, that's okay, because this is what we're doing. So, just going to use my finger just to smudge that into the other colours that we've got there. So that creates a really nice contrast, I think, between this terracotta shade layered with this other taupey colour, but warm taupe, and then the amber of the Chanel, and with this dark colour on top. I think it looks nice. I think it's a cool eye colour look for my eye colour. Okay, next I'm going to use Passage of Time, which is this very pale champagne, more glittery tone. There's two very similar shades. This is more glittery. I want it to look like it's just, I don't know if this sounds mean or not, but I want it to look like it's like gold sweat on my eyelid, because it just makes you like kind of wonder what that is on the lid. So that's this. So I mean, I know I haven't done swatches of all of these, which is quite typical for the makeup video, but I think there's enough videos of this Byredo product now that you can just go and have a look at. I'm just showing you the ones that I think are really cool so far, but I'm sure I'm going to use more of the red. So we're really dealing with the sun now, so sorry about that. I'm not moaning about it though, it's fantastic. Okay, so then what I usually do is I just use this Tom Ford double-ended eyeliner, black, which again, I haven't had this for years, but I've used this for years, and I think it's the best one. I'm just literally drawing, not a line, but I'm just like dotting really in between my eyelashes, just to create a bit of, that's it, like a bit more contrast. Let me see if I can't do that, I can't. Okay, and then just done the same on this side, slightly drag it down, which I know is a big no-no, but I don't care because it suits my eye. So, like that. Then the next thing to do is mascara, which again I'll just do off camera. I like the Christian Louboutin. This one, I don't know what it's called. It's called, no idea, but it's the gold one. I've had the black one as well, the black packaging one. I didn't like it as much as this one. This one's more of a volume mascara, so if you like that, then I'd try this. Okay, and then that is now the final look. So I hope that was helpful if you're thinking about any of these products, and I'll see you in the next video.